art and that other side of your brain is very important as your intellectual side, the artistic side. You have to have both sides working effectively. So here in Ghana, we actually started a STEAM program with our young people here. And so we've been able to bring resources to this continent as far as, well, I won't tell you all of it because I'll let the young people tell you more about what the resource we brought. So you'll hear a little about that. But we realized that we have to establish ourselves here and have a permanent place here in Ghana. And hopefully we'll expand again to other countries. So I will go ahead and start the presentation. Then I'm hoping that the video here will show so you guys learn a little bit about what Gapbuster is. So do we have, next slide please, and if you can, if the video will play in the slide, I hope. And hopefully we have some sound. So this is going to give you a little overview of what is Gapbuster. So you'll know a little bit more about what is Gapbuster. All right, so we can start here at, remember I said the diaspora. And so we talked about the diaspora. Diaspora is a huge, we say, there's a lot to talk about when we say just diaspora. And we say youth and diaspora, there's a lot to talk about youth and diaspora. But we're looking at the diaspora from a different perspective. And we're going to look at the youth and diaspora as a group of individuals who have been, for Africans, who were forcibly removed from the continent of Africa and dispersed all over. And as you know, the Arab and the Atlantic slave trade was the largest migration of any one individuals who were displaced, forcibly displaced in history from their homeland. So, and I say this because remember, this is my homeland too. Africans were all over the world, but this is where we all began from. And we were forcibly displaced. So those who were forcibly displaced in another land or in another location out of their motherland is the diaspora. So I'm from the diaspora. You here are from the motherland. And so when we talk about the diaspora, we're not only going to talk about those of us who were forcibly removed, but actually how we're really all still connected right here. Because not as far as, I say, you are my family. And we are truly one. There's a lot to talk about when you say diaspora. Next slide, please. And we say youth and diaspora, there's a lot to talk about youth and diaspora. But and I always like to start with a statement from a different perspective. And we're going to look at youth and diaspora. And I know he's probably a lot of other people's favorite. And I always say Martin Luther King, this and that. I'll say my first one is Malcolm X. And my second one is Mandela. So it's Eminem, who I really worship and treasure. So, and I love this phrase because it's really all about education. The continent of Africa. Because education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. As you know, the Arab and the Atlantic slave trade, those words are so true. But we only can change the world migration with our youth of any one individuals, our future generations displaced to carry in history from their home, from where we left off. So, and I say this because remember, this is my homeland. So that's why youth are so important. Africans were all over the world, but this is where we all began coming together, and we were forcibly displaced. So those who were forcibly displaced in another land. Now the objective for today, location, we want to identify what is the most important. Why is it important to bridge the gap? The diaspora. You know, what is bridging the gap? You here are from the motherland. Why is it important to bridge the gap? And so when we talk about the diaspora, we're not only going to talk about those of us who are forcibly removed, coming from where I come from, all still connected right here in the United States, because there's been a intent. You are to keep us apart. And we are not one. Just happens. There's a lot to talk about. It is by design. And we say youth and diaspora. There's a lot to talk about youth and diaspora. Black and I always like to start with from a different perspective. They don't want to unify in the country, and they definitely don't want us to unify with other people's favorite here on the motherland. And I always say Martin Luther King, this and that. These are things and reasons why I'm here today is to hopefully start forging more relations. And many of us are doing these things to forge relationships which need to exist. And I love this also identifies really all about education. Because education is the most powerful weapon. How do we which we can use to change as you know, the Arab, some techniques to bridge the gap. And then also we're going to discuss how was the wonderful COVID-19 our youth, which is still around, individuals are still existing, generations, and I want to put a plug in from where we left off. So I'm not political, because remember, but I'm going to say it. This is my homeland. That's why youth. The government of Ghana has done all over the world, but this is fabulous job, and we were forcibly displaced. Those who were forcibly displaced of COVID in another land. And people might get mad. I flew in here. I went through all the things that everyone else had to go to flying in this country. The diaspora. And I'm going to tell you honestly, you here, he has done one of the most amazing jobs. And so when we talk about the diaspora, we're not going to talk about people into the country removed to where I come from. Because let me tell you, unfortunately, this country is not equipped. There's been a to handle massive cases to keep us apart. And no country is really equipped. Happens. There's a lot to talk about. You see what's going on in the United States. And we say youth and diaspora. There's a lot to talk about last year in February. Black and others like January and February left in March. Now Mandela, when COVID first started, my favorite in the country about COVID. The Arab, at the Arab needs and that you're then also going to discuss how was there wonderful COVID-19. Now it's flying back home, which is still around. I walked in, got my bags. Not one check. I'm like, where's and I went there and put a plug in. What, you know, are they going to test me or so anything political? I got my bags and walked right in. And so that, and you see how many people are dead in the United States today. because we had no filter. We did nothing. We just let everybody come and go as they choose to please. Every state got to do whatever they wanted to do as far as lockdown, no mask, everybody wear a mask. Every state did something different. So our country, and now if you listen to the news, I was watching it last night. They said there's one place, Louisiana, they have like 100% increase all of a sudden. And I'm like, how could you have 100% increase? And it doesn't make any sense. But they have so many new cases of COVID, now the Delta variant, because we didn't do anything. I would say we did a good job. We didn't do anything. We truly didn't do anything. This country here and the government here, I'll be honest with you, has done a fabulous job. I don't mind being stopped at the airport, because I told them if I was positive and I turned positive at the airport, keep me. I don't want to bring nothing into this country. I want to keep this country safe, because eventually I will be here, hopefully next year, to stay. But even though we know that this is something that has impacted the world, and he's done a good job of controlling that impact here. So we'll talk a little bit about COVID, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what we're doing here on the continent, and then we're going to have some student presentations. Now, these students are here, so we won't have any video disruptions, so you'll get to hear from the students of the school we're working at. And then I wanted to let you guys know that I'm not sure if everybody knows, 1/4 of the entire population is youth. Did you guys know that? In the whole world. 1/4 of the entire population in this world is youth. That's 25%. 25% of every living being right now is considered a youth. In Ghana, it's 33%. So 1/3 of your population here is the young people. Now, I saw the protests yesterday, fix Ghana. But one thing I have to say, I don't think there's any fixing Ghana unless we engage you young people. You guys have to be at the helm. The young people have to be brought into the table. You have to push the agenda. And we have to have you engaging positively with the officials to make a difference. So we still have presentation. All right, so you can go to the next slide. So we talk about bridging the gap. So I want to say, why is it important to bridge the gap? These are just, and there might be more than just this, but it's important to bridge the gap because, first of all, it's going to help promote cultural awareness. And today we're here with the first ever Pan-African Museum Conference, which is really going to make a difference as far as culture, because we need to know culture. So it's going to promote cultural awareness. Also, it's going to increase understanding and the connecting of us. And so we have to connect with people around the world. You can't live in a silo. And a silo is in one little hub, one little area, and think that's all it is. Because the world is bigger than us, and we're all connected. So it's going to show you how that we're all connected. Also, it's going to build global, and I say this, global citizens and global relations. Because you will become the next global citizens. So these are some reasons why we need to bridge the gap. And also the last one, it's going to also encourage diversity, because we come from, and I love it, we are a melting pot of individuals. So learning about diversity and understanding each other early makes a difference, and it opens the minds to what you do and who you are. And so also we want to think about cross-cultural relationships. Now these are some of the things I have to say, and methods and ways to close the gap. And we talk about the cross-cultural experiences. And so that comes in multiple ways. And now with what we're doing worldwide and what's happened, everyone's in this whole digital video aware, I say, environment. Social media has made a difference in everyone's life. And let me tell you, does anyone here in here have a cell phone? Can you guys hold your cell phone up? Can you hold your cell phone up? Set your cell phone up. Now, if your cell phone goes off, do you feel disconnected from the world? You feel disconnected from the world, don't you? And it's yeah, you probably do. And the young people, we haven't gotten there yet. But let me tell you, when you start getting a cell phone, and I'll be honest with you, I won't tell you guys all my age, but I'm over than 60, so I'm past 60, and we didn't have no cell phones. We didn't have cell phones. We had those big old clunky phones that you turn the wheel, and I would have never thought that I would, without my cell phone, I would feel lost. I feel lost without my cell phone now because it's connected me to the world. It's allowed me to be right next door to someone who's in a different part of the world. And so it has really minimized and showed me how small we are and how we are one people and how connected we are. So social media has really done amazing things. And one of the things that I know, and one people, we talk about social media. In the United States, you guys all saw George Floyd, I know that. If that wasn't videotaped, if they had not videotaped that killing, there would have been another black man dead. Because what you saw live on camera, taken by a young girl, a youth took that video. It was so impacting because she was a young girl, impressionable, and all of a sudden that life-changing event, that videotape that she took, changed her life forever. And she will never be the same because she saw a police murder someone right in front of her. Now that's been happening every day in the United States. I'm going to just let you guys know. That you saw was not the first of many. It was just one of many that social media allowed for the world to see. And so that changed how policing is going to be. Well, we hope it changed how policing will be in the United States. So social media can close that gap. Because no one would have ever known about that. But social media can close that gap. Also, and this is old school, pen pals. Does anyone know what a pen pal is? Anyone have a pen pal when they were a kid? Yes. I had a pen pal. You had a pen pal too? I had a pen pal also. And now we can do email, which makes it direct, immediate. So you don't have to delay. You write a letter, you wait for everyone to come back to you. You can direct, no more snail mail. Instantaneous. You can instantaneously touch someone else. That's another way to bridge the gap. So we think about these things as bridging the gap. And then one other thing I tell, we have to start going across the coast and the continent. We have to start moving around, going into these other places. One of the things that Gap has been doing since 2004, we would bring students back and forth. We would take U.S. students to South Africa, and then we would take South African students to the United States. And so we were doing this, and we did this for over 10 years, and bringing students back and forth. And what we did, we trained those young people who once came here to learn as much as they could from South Africans. And then South African students who came to the United States to learn as much as they could from our American students, and then bring them back home. So our students brought back the exposure that they got from South Africans. Everyone can't go. But having those peers to do this cross-cultural exchange is very valuable. So those are ways that we can bridge the gap. And those are immediate ways that we can bridge the gap with social media, which is kind of cool. And so for me, that's why it's so important to bridge the gap and to show all of us that we're not this huge, faraway place, but we're really all connected. Now, how has COVID affected this? It's been very traumatic, we know. Over 1 billion children have been affected by COVID. Over 1 billion. And it's affected your schools. It's affected your family situations, living styles. You know, a lot of us have seen deaths. I personally have been affected by 2 COVID deaths already. I know there's probably more to come. So COVID has impacted the world. And it's impacted the youth even more so. It's impacted economically. Young people now, the ones who are doing some of, I'll say, in the United States, they didn't do our low job, it's just jobs. But now that adults don't have jobs, economically it has really made a strain on our economies, and it's really hit our youth, which is really important. And we talk about academics, education, and the school system. And that's where, you know, a lot of countries really tried to jump on this right away. Some did better than others, and some are still struggling. And I'm not sure if you've seen it. The United States is getting ready to go back to shutdown. So we're getting ready to go back to shutdown. And they're talking about, oh, no, get the vaccine, everyone get the vaccine. Everyone's not getting the vaccine. And even everybody taking the vaccine, they're now saying that Delta variant, even with that, the vaccine, you won't die, but you know, guess what? You're still going to be sick, and so you're going to be out. So shutdown, we talk about schools. When we talk about schools, you know, some countries did the digital, some countries did the non-digital. And we say digital, virtual learning, they got computers rolled out to everyone, kids got computers in their homes, teachers online doing, teaching and doing all this so-called great stuff. But let me tell you, the learning curve was teachers too. Those teachers, especially the older ones, did not want, or did not know how to do digital, video conferencing and doing lessons online. So we had a lot of drop-off. A lot of people just left the field. So the quality of education changed worldwide. It's not just here at home, but worldwide. Here, they did a lot of TV. Everyone watching your TV, see what they did here. They start putting a lot of things on TV and doing lessons on TV, which is great. But not everyone has a TV. And not only everyone has a TV, one of the things we talk about social media, the digital divide, I've been here in God now, I think we've been here 4 weeks now, and I'm going to tell you, we've been traveling all the way to Canada and around the country, which was amazing, so we got to see a lot of stuff. We have one of those traveling motives, and half the time I couldn't get online. So I was cut off from the world just not having access. So that's the problem. That's a major problem here. So with educational things that happened during COVID and how it impacted. Unfortunately, the quality and the access was very limited across the globe. Some countries were more impacted than others, but everyone has been impacted. So that is how COVID has really affected us and the youth of our generation. Next slide. And then we're going to wrap up and our young people get into this. And I'll tell you about what we're doing now. And I get excited about what Gapbusters is doing. And not only Gapbusters is doing, but other people do this as well. So our Gapbusters is doing, we have been creating leadership programs for our young people. And we've been doing this since 2001. Creating leadership programs for our young people. And it's a program called Leadership Training, which we teach entrepreneurship. We teach financial literacy, we do the cross-culture exchange program with them, and we also, what we also do with our young people, we have a peer-to-peer, we have a peer-to-peer program, and where they work with other students academically, which is kind of cool. We also have a program, academic program, that is called Building Scholar for the Future. Because I realized a long time ago, when I did a little transformation shift in my life, that you young people here were my future. And I realized that, so I did a little transformation shift and put everything I can back into you. Because I tell people, you know, we have nursing homes, all this wonderful stuff. I have one biological, and I have 4 children. But I don't know if they're going to want to keep me and my husband, they might put us in a nursing home or something, but, I want to make you responsible. So hopefully they won't just shove us away as we get older. So I start putting my energy into you guys. Because I'm like, I want to make really good citizens of our young people. We also, Gapbuster has started a program here in December of last year, when we first went to school. We made sure we built a computer lab here and a library here, and you'll see the students here. So we start doing virtual learning with the students. Actually, we kicked off in Black History Month. And we were doing Saturday programming. So doing virtual Saturday program with the students here. Now we did have challenges. And we said every time it rained, we would lose them here. But then we would send the lessons in advance so that even if we lost that mode of transmission, we would still be able to communicate, or the teachers would still be able to teach the lesson that we were doing with our young people, so that our youth could come together. So we had our youth in the United States also work with our youth here every Saturday. And so this summer, virtual program, Monday through Friday with students. Now we had challenges again. I won't say it was easy, but we got through some of those challenges as far as giving the lessons, and then the students would work with their professors as well, doing the same lessons. And so they would be able to see our students in the United States, and our students in the United States would be able to see the students here. And one of the really cool things that they did, the students here were teaching our students about culture here in the continent. And then our students would also teach some of the students here in Ghana about their countries of origin. Because remember, the United States is a melting pot. So we had students from Guatemala, El Salvador. We had Ghanaian students as well in our program in the United States. But there are students also in the United States who came from different cultures that they were able to also teach the students here in Ghana about their cultures. So it was pretty cool. So those are some of the things that we're doing to close that gap and to really close the digital divide as well, and make sure our youth are coming together. Can we get the video from the young lady from our young lady in the United States? I saw you doing some work back here, so I think it might be ready to go. Yeah, the very first video.
Hi, my name is Hilary Boa, and I'm an alumni of Gapbuster. I attended Gapbuster in high school, but after college, I also worked for Gapbuster as program director. This specifically was during a time where Gapbuster actually expanded its leadership program and STEM program to my hometown in Ghana. My full name is Hilary Amadenchi Yeboah, but it wasn't until that I was an avid member in college of Gapbusters where I actually visited Ghana for the first time. For me, it was one of the most enlightening and historical experiences because it was about reconnecting to my roots. And after talking more, especially with youth who's raised here in the States, connecting back to Africa is a way to make an impact. But in order for us to make an impact, we actually have to learn about what are the different issues and what are the different dreams of people who are actually on the continent. I think we just see so much youth and also just African Americans and other people of the diaspora moving back into Africa because that's our overarching goal. For me and so many others, that's more of our nirvana. And I think one of the programs that Gapbuster is doing to really fund the STEM education in Ghana, it could be a monumental thing. Just because the more education you have, especially with youth abroad and the youth in the United States, the more connections. And I think that's the overarching purpose of all of this. Making an impact, especially for your African history and African ancestry, is what we have to do moving forward in our African future. Thank you.
The first presentation and second presentation will be given by Ms. Jacqueline Amponsa and Opare Samuel. Shall we give them one second?
I welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to see you all. Thank you all for coming here today. Well, I feel much honored to have this opportunity on behalf of the PAHW Methodist School and the Gabas team. My name is Prince Aparison, and my colleague is
Jacqueline Amponsa.
I'm here to talk about the purpose of Gabasta in my school. First, the purpose of Gabasta in my school is to encourage students to develop in science, engineering, technology, the art subject and mathematics. 2, to encourage girls, especially students, to develop in STEAM subjects. When we talk of STEAM subjects, they are science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. When you take science, we have what we call biology, chemistry, physics, and computer science. And we also talk of engineering and technology. They are car racing, robotics, and computer science. Also information communication and technology, which is ICT. The job opportunity available under STEAMs are engineering, space science, aircraft design, ship design, spaceship design, and inventions. Thank you.
So I'm here to talk about the benefits that we have gained since the establishment of Gabasta. 1. Mission for all the classrooms. Example, chairs, table, and cupboard. They have established internet facility for their school. Gabasta have provided a world computer laboratory for their school. Gabasta have established cafeteria for their school recently. Lectures from all nations universities come to teach technology such as robotics, 3D prints, remote control cars. To add more, this increases the number of young Ghanaians in studying STEM-related subjects or degrees in university, so that in the future they can work in STEM-related fields or subjects. This helps us to improve our academic studies. So we thank Gabasta so very, very much. Gabasta educates, evaluates, and...
Ladies and gentlemen, our third and fourth presentation will be taken from Ms. Doreen Danso and Mobila David. Shall we give them a round of applause?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Doreen Danso from PAHW Methodist School, and my colleague is
Mobila David from PAHW Methodist School.
I would like to give a presentation on one of the most important African queens that ever ruled in Africa. This illustrious queen is called Cremaquita of Ethiopia. Makida, Queen of Sheba, one of the African queens who made a name in Africa. In the year 1960 BC, the nation that is now called Ethiopia came back upon the center stage of history. Ethiopia was then represented by a queen who, in some books, referred to as Makida or Bilski. She is better known to the world as the Queen of Sheba. In his book, World Great Men of Color, J.A. Rogers gives this description. Out of the midst of 3 years emerges this beautiful story of an African queen who, attracted by a fame of a Judean monarch, made a long journey to see him. The Queen of Sheba, said to have undertaken a long and difficult journey to Jerusalem to learn from the wisdom of great King Solomon. Her history can be found in the Bible, the Quran, the Kebra Nagas, the Yemeni, and the Ethiopian history. She was very wealthy and a powerful queen. According to many people, they say the Kebra Nagas is the most accurate. The imperial family of Ethiopia claimed they are the direct offspring of Queen Makeda and King Solomon. Makeda and King Solomon were equally impressed by each other. Out of their relationship was born a son, Menelik I. This queen is said to have reigned over Sheba and Arabia, as well as Ethiopia. The queen of Sheba's capital was Deborah Makeda, which she built for herself. In Ethiopia, the queen of Sheba's capital was Deborah Makeda, which she built for herself. In the Ethiopia's church of Aksum, there were copies of what is said to be the one of the tablets of law that Solomon gave to Menelik I. The story of Queen Makeda is deeply cherished in Ethiopia as part of their national heritage. This African queen is named in 2 holy books. This is the Bible and the Quran. Sources: en.wikipedia.org, www.africanlegends.info, www.insuresplatin.com. Thank you.
I will also continue by reading the Queen of Nefertiti. Nefertiti means one, the beautiful one has arrived. Although Cleopatra gives all the holy credit, there is not any evidence that states that Cleopatra was beautiful. Also, Cleopatra ruled Egypt when it was in ruins. Nefertiti, known for her beauty, power, and loyalty to her husband, she is portrayed as equal to her husband and displayed in a way that other Egyptian queens could not do. Queen Nefertiti of Kemet, ancient Egypt, was a principal wife of Pharaoh Amenhotep IV, later called Akhenaten. The queen lived in the 14th century. Nefertiti and Akhenaten ruled during one of the wealthiest periods of ancient Africa. They originated monotheism, the belief of one god. Nefertiti is often shown with a crown of a pharaoh. There are also depictions of her in battle. She took on roles only a pharaoh would. Period in ancient Egyptian African history. There is a very scarce historical fact about the origins, marriage, family life, political status, and death of Queen Nefertiti. However, there are surviving images and texts which are important sources of information about her, and scholars give different interpretations. This provides a great deal of various theories about Nefertiti's life, but we do not have any reliable knowledge about this famous queen, Nefertiti. Nefertiti is married to Amenhotep IV. The two families of Te and A came from the Middle Egyptian city of Achem. Achem was the home of the parent Tai, the wife of Amenhotep III. The Te and A family knew each other, and so it was easy for Tai to choose Nefertiti for his second son, Amenhotep IV. It is not known whether the marriage took place before Amenhotep IV suggested that the marriage took place when the Amenhotep was about between 16 and 18 years. And while Nefertiti was about 12 to 15 years old. Nefertiti has 6 daughters with Amenhotep IV. The status of Nefertiti. Nefertiti is presented on the same scale of status as her husband Amenhotep IV. Her name is given equal status with that of her husband and god Aten. Her throne of status has a decoration which shows what is called unification of the two lands. this decoration over Egypt. These symbols are the lotus and the papyrus. These symbols of unification is usually reserved for the reigning monarch alone. The divine trinity Amenhotep, Nefertiti, and Aten, their god, which based an ancient Egyptian theological principle of the creation of the world, the death of Nefertiti. The date and cause of Nefertiti's death remain unknown. Early in 200 to 2012 years BC, the inscription in the rock face was found in an ancient quarry 10 kilometers north of Amama. This inscription dates to the 16th year that of Amenhotep's reign, and it mentions Nefertiti's death and position of as the great royal wife. This shows that Nefertiti lived many years after her husband died in the 17th year of his reign. It is believed that Nefertiti reigned a short period of time following her husband's death. Thank you.
This is amazing. Gaba Stars really helped us to know more about history of Africans. And with this presentation, we've known about the Queen of Sheba, Nefertiti, and also the benefits and purpose of Gaba Star in our schools. Without wasting my time, we will end here. This is our presentation that we brought from our school. Thank you.
Thank you so much as well. I want to thank the young people. They just did this week, you guys, literally Tuesday, and here it is today, so I want to thank you so much for sharing with us and sharing some of your knowledge with everyone else here. So we really wanted to talk about youth in the diaspora, and that's why they want our youth to be here, but it's really about Pan-Africanism and about us really coming together too as one. And so they said that the video, oh, you have video? Okay. So we have our video from our young lady from the United States. And so I will stop talking and they can show the video. And I hope it has sound. Is it a go or? Is it go? No, it's not good. Oh, it's not ready. Okay. Okay. Well, you know, technology is always technology always works and doesn't work when you want it to work. So, but we are in a digital world now, and in the digital world has made us much smaller, and so our young people, we're hoping that, and I speak to you personally, that you will take the lead and be our unbelievable change agents that you are, and that people will put you at the forefront and at the helm of everything we do. We have youth on our board, and so we have, since we are an NGO, and we have a nonprofit as well in the United States, we have youth on our board. The programs that we have designed for our organization have come out of being, they really have started because of our young people. I just thought academics, I was truly about actually math and science. I didn't even consider language arts. I was like, math and science, that's the key, because that's all I really knew, and that's what got me to be where I am today. It wasn't my language arts, it wasn't any of those other skills, and so I really focused on that when I really started the organization. I focused on math and science. And then, as I said, I realized that you need both sides of the brain, the artistic side and your analytical side working in tandem to really make a full human, I should say, or make full progression as well. So one of the things that we did was bring youth to the table because they knew what they wanted. And I knew what I wanted, but the youth have made our organization what it is today. And the youth now run my program. My program director actually she was a youth in the program when she was young. And so a lot of my teachers now are also in the program. They were in the program when they were younger and now in the program. And we're really excited also that we have one of our former teachers who's, we're going to have a panel discussion if get any questions. We have one of our former teachers who made Gapbuster what it is today here with us today as well. She just got her doctorate, her doctoral degree. Tamika Jones, will you please stand up? She is one of the teachers who worked with Gapbuster. And she taught our students SAT. So it was interesting in math. And one of the things that we realized is that the students asked, well, we need SAT support, we need other types of help. So we started doing those things. And the reason why our organization is where it is today is because of the students and the teachers like Dr. Jones, who also is with us here today. So we also wanted to make sure that we allow opportunity for questions and answers if there are any questions. So I'm not sure if they're going to get this video to play. Is it going to get to play? And because there were two videos, and I know so I would like to have our students come back up, and Dr. Jones, could you join us? We want to have an individual, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask of us, especially for youth in diaspora. Dr. Jones has also been working with youth for over 20 plus years and realizes that they are the direction and the future of our world. Oh, well, we have the voice, but no video now.
But after college, I also worked for Gapbuster as program director. Hi, my name is Hillary Boa, and I'm an alumni of Gapbuster. I attended Gapbuster in high school. I also worked for Gapbuster as program director. This specifically was during the time where Gapbuster actually expanded its leadership program and STEM program to my hometown in Ghana. My full name is Hillary Amadenchi Yeboah, but it wasn't until that I was an avid member in college of Gapbusters where I actually visited Ghana for the first time. For me, it was one of the most enlightening and historical experiences because it was about reconnecting to my roots. And after talking more, especially with youth who's raised here in the States, connecting back to Africa is always our overarching goal and figuring out a way to make an impact. But in order for us to make an impact, we actually have to learn about what are the different issues and what are the different dreams of people who are actually on the continent. I think we just see so much youth and also just African Americans and other people of the diaspora moving back into Africa because that's our overarching goal. For me and so many others, that's more of our nirvana. And I think one of the programs that Gapbuster is doing to really fund the STEM education in Ghana, it could be a monumental thing. Just because the more education you have, especially with youth abroad and the youth in the United States, the more connections. And I think that's the overarching purpose of all of this. Making an impact, especially for your African history and African ancestry, is what we have to do moving forward in our African future. Thank you.
So we finally got it playing, and thank you so much back there, IT folks. Thank you. I know I came late and trying to get this going. So we want our students to come back up, and we please, we want this to be more interactive. If you have any questions of these young people, or myself or Dr. Jones, we're here. So any questions, please? Not everyone jump up at once with a question. But I know there has to be a question out there about the youth in diaspora and about how these youth have been affected. No questions whatsoever?
Thank you. I have a question. My name is Ismira H. from the USA about the structured pen pal program. How do you determine the recipients and the participants on the other end? Is it through local school systems, individuals? How are they recruited? How are they identified? And how are they linked with Ghanaian children here, please?
Okay. Wonderful. Great question. She asked about the structured pen pal. And the way with the structured pen pal program, what we do, we have a program in the United States. So we have students that are already in our program. So those students we link with our Gapbuster Ghana students here. And so what we have done, we have developed an entire list, and what happens for security purposes, since everyone's under 18 who are in this pen pal, we actually have, they get emails that we can tap into, but everything has to come through us as well. They literally CC or copy us on all the communications that they make back and forth with their pen pal. And so we have guidelines as well. So no sharing of pictures, about our culture, and share experiences and get to know each other that way. And so that's how we run our
from different places, universities, to come and teach us.
Any other students?